Yasodanandana Prajajanandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjari Pijanava Girivarada Pijanava Girivarada Yasodanandana Prajajanandana Yasodanandana Prajajanandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jai Gurudev, Gurudev, Jai Gurudev. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Riva Jagacharya Astutarasita Sri Srimati Divine Bliss ISKCON Founder Charya Jagadguru ऐसी Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada की जय. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Astutarasita Sri Srimati Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada की जय. Ananta Guri Vaishnavrinda की जय. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur की जय. Prime School Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyama Kunda Kunda Giri Gauravadhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Mathura Dham ki jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Ganges Mai ki jai. Tulasi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru Sri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padya. Krishna Pritya Bhutala Smriti Parasita Shama Namaste Krishna Parasita. Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Pati Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamurti Vayet Nashta Praishva Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavartinaisti Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Jena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Shvapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Purijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisavana Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sandhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Continue our reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1 Chapter 15. The Pandavas retire timely. continue from text 36. Arjuna is speaking. When the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, left this earthly planet in his self-same form, from that very day, Kali, who had already partially appeared, became fully manifest to create inauspicious conditions for those who are endowed with the pure fund of knowledge. Krishna came towards the end of Prabhupada, towards the end. And he left just few minutes before Kali entered. And Kali was just waiting for Krishna to go, then he can start. So Arjuna is observing that the influence of Kali can be enforced only upon those who are not fully developed in God consciousness. One can neutralize the effect of Kali by keeping oneself fully under the supreme care of the personality of Godhead. The age of Kali ensued just after the battle of Kurukshetra, but it could not exert its influence because of the presence of the Lord. The Lord, however, left this earthly planet in his own transcendental body. And as soon as he left, the symptoms of the Kali Yuga, as were envisioned by Maharaj Yudhishthira prior to Arjuna's arrival from Dwarka, began to manifest. And Maharaj Yudhishthira rightly conjectured on the departure of the Lord from the earth. As we have already explained, the Lord left our sights just as when the sun sets, it is out of our sight. He has left here to start the next business in a different universe. Just like someone leave this room and enter that room, he continue with the business, and all his associates, they will join him. They to continue with their pastimes. So he did not quit his body because his body is completely spiritual, not material. So he left with the same body as he came, so he left. Krishna's appearance, his disappearance, his activities, his entourage are all the same absolute. They have the same nature. So when he comes, things are different. And when he leaves, also things are different. The same way, when a pure devotee descends, things are different. While he is here, he will try to search for those who are very, very fortunate. We search for those who are so fortunate. And seeing those who are very fortunate, will invest in them. The Krishna consciousness will continue. After finishing that, they will also leave. They will go on to different places for different business. As Krishna is doing, so all his associates follow the same footsteps. Maharaj Yudhishthira was intelligent enough to understand the influence of the age of Kali, characterized by increasing avarice, falsehood, cheating, and violence throughout the capital, the state, the home, and among individuals. So he wisely prepared himself to leave home, and he dressed accordingly. The Prophet mentioned the symptoms of Kali Yuga. The symptoms of the Kali Yuga, as mentioned above, namely avarice, falsehood, diplomacy, cheating, nepotism, violence, and all such things, are already involved. And no one can imagine what is going to happen gradually with further increase of the influence of Kali till the day of annihilation. We have already come to know that the influence of the age of Kali is meant for godless, so-called civilized man, those who are under the protection of the Lord have nothing to fear from this horrible age. The devotees have nothing to fear, nothing to worry about this horrible age, but they have a very deep concern in their heart. They are very concerned about the conditioned souls. They are very worried. That is anxiety. Prahlad Maharaj. I don't care about myself, but I'm concerned about these people. Just see these people, how they're suffering. This is my concern. It's the nature of pure devotees. They're worried about us. The spiritual master is worried about our lives. We may not worry about ourselves, but the spiritual master is worried. That's the duty of a responsible father. He's worried. He knows that by his presence, his form is covering many devotees. When the form is not there, many devotees who are hanging will have difficulties. He's aware of that. Therefore, while he's present, he constantly tries to push devotee to come to the level that they'll be able to stand when they're not physically present. All these qualities are increasing every day. Yes.
Just a question from the previous verse. Like in verse number 34, 35, it's mentioned that Supreme Lord relinquished his body.
Yes.
And the next one is purport Prabhupada mentioned that Krishna went with the same body, transcendental body.
Yes.
And I heard like one devotee was mentioned like Vishwanath Chakravarti commented that Krishna want to bewilder the common people, so that's why he left the body. So they're two versions or they're different time because of that some Kalpaved kind of thing.
The same we mentioned that yesterday. The Mayavadi, they saw Krishna differently. The yogis, they saw Krishna differently. The devotees, they saw Krishna differently. So Krishna did that to cheat the non-devotees.
Ideally, he left this body for just to bewilder people.
Krishna will not leave the body, but he appeared to them the way they perceive him. He appeared to them the way they perceive him. Krishna appeared like that. For the rest, like Krishna is a formidable dead personified. For common people, Krishna is incapable. For devotees, he is the supreme personality of Godhead, best friend. For his queens, for Brajabasi, he is the best boy, the best child. He's the best for everything. He cannot do anything less than himself. So whatever he does, he did it perfectly. I will give you a perfect reason to accept that what they are doing is right. That is Krishna's nature. Yes, ma'am.
Purport of verse 36. One can neutralize the effects of Kali by keeping oneself fully under the supreme care of the personality of God.
Yes.
Can you please elaborate?
Yes. We have already mentioned. We already mentioned that yesterday. We mentioned many times. We should adjust ourselves to fit into the process of bhakti. We shouldn't adjust bhakti to fit into our system. What does that mean? We should try to follow, proper use the word also, adjust. We should adjust ourselves into the space of Christian consciousness. Means we should follow everything as it is. No compromise. I will give an example of, if you have a house, rain will not beat you. But if you are standing outside, rain will beat you. Means that if you don't follow the process of bhakti, if you don't follow it, we will be beaten by Maya. Even if we're in the movement, even if you are initiated, even if you have position. Maya will not spare you because you have a position. If you don't want to be affected, then we should take full shelter. Mam chayo abyabi charena bhakti yoga na sebate saguna samitaitam brahma buya kalpate abyabi charena. Unfailing in all circumstances, properly translated. Unfailing in all circumstances, we will not be affected by Maya. We will promote it to the Brahma Bhuta Sanatma stage. So, yesterday we repeatedly mentioned, let us become good devotees. And that's the recommendation, the request from Bhakti-Vedanta Saraswati. We should not become great devotees, we try to become good devotees. That's what it means. Good devotee means that we are sincerely following everything as it is given with intelligence. If you do that, we will be successful. How many times Prabhupada said, stick to this process, your success is guaranteed. Stick to this process. Yeah, success is guaranteed. He is confident in what he has given to us. And yesterday we were quoting Sukadev Goswami during the time. This is a tested, confirmed process. There's no need for experimentation. You just have to follow it as it is. Follow as it is, as it is here. No speculation. Don't forget. Yesterday we said we should not forget. Text 24 purport. We shouldn't forget. This is a mirror for all of us to measure our life in Christian consciousness. We use the word many times. We shouldn't be floating devotees. We should really exist. Because all along, if all of us check very carefully, you see that since time immemorial, everything we have been doing are all detected by our senses, not the soul. Is it true? Can you mention one activity we are doing which is not detected by our senses? Which is dictated by the soul or the super soul? Any one activity? All conditions souls are doing, which are dictated by the soul, the self. That this is what I want to do myself. Is there any activity like that we've been doing before coming to Krishna consciousness? Anything? Anyone? Everything has been dictated by our senses. That's what we've been doing. Now, Krishna consciousness is teaching us the process of doing what is dictated by the soul and the super soul. That is human life. That is Krishna consciousness. It's clear? If you point a torch to the sun, will it make any difference? Huh? No. Why? The sun is thousands and thousands of times more powerful than the torch. What does that mean? If we take shelter of Krishna, where is Maya? Where is Maya? If you take shelter of Krishna, Maya does not exist. Maya exists only when we are taking shelter of our senses, not Krishna. Maya exists. Yes, brother.
Just a follow-up question to this. Adjusting ourselves according to the process of Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
For some people it is easy, but for some people it is very difficult because their nature is totally opposite
they want to practice, but despite their desire, their nature somehow doesn't makes it easy for them. So how to
In that situation, if we really want, this is a slogan we have been talking since. If you really want, you'll get it. Right? If you really want, you will get it. But you have to try. You have to try. You try and try, and you succeed. We have been brought here by Krishna and Prabhupada's mercy. They brought us here. Yes, it is true that we came from different backgrounds. Some of us, the karma is really, really very heavy. So to keep the principle is a serious struggle. It's a serious struggle. And in that situation, if we really want, we should cry. Cry. Especially on determined days, Prabhupada said. There are certain days which are called determined. Which are those days? I will get a 9:14 purport. Which days? Janmashtami, Ekadasi. Those days to cry to, see Radha, Madan Mohan. Should cry. They are not standing there as marble. They are not marbles. They are not marble. The personality of God is standing for benefit. To cry, Krishna, I'm helpless. Yesterday I was trying to remember what prayer Kunti Devi said. She's praying to Krishna. Mold me, prepare me, make me suitable for your mercy. Let us pray like this. They taught us how to be Krishna conscious. Mold me, prepare me, make me suitable for your mercy. If we have this mindset, all our weaknesses will be destroyed. Krishna said, because I established this principle, this 11 canto, because I established the process of bhakti, anyone who takes to this process sincerely will succeed. No failure. Will succeed. Guarantee is, our life is guaranteed in proper mercy. If we simply follow the process, we will succeed. So let us cry. That is helplessness in practice, not helplessness in word. Helplessness in practice. Once you cry before the deities, you cry before the spiritual master. Like Bhakti to cry. My dear Lord, see me. This is my situation. See my situation. There is no sin which I have never committed 1,000,000 times. Look at me. This is me. The result of my sinful activity have choked me onto the neck. I cannot run. You have to help me. And this is how devotees will pray. Then Christian will see, oh, he's calling me. And Prabhupada said, if we practice chanting the holy name of Krishna distinctly and loudly, Lord Krishna will say, this person has called my name. It is my duty to protect him. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 2, Text 49. Purports. This person has called my name. Therefore, it is my duty to protect him. Text 38. Thereafter, in the capital of Hastinapur, he enthroned his grandson, who was trained and equally qualified as the emperor and master of all land bordered by the seas. Yudhishthira Maharaj enthrone a person he has trained to take over. Means what? We should not engage a devotee without training. To engage a devotee in anything, it should be trained before we can engage them in any service. Otherwise, whatever mistake they do, we will carry the consequences. Then he posted Vajra, the son of Aniruddha, grandson of Lord Krishna, at Mathura as the king of Surasena. Afterwards, Maharaj Yudhishthira performed a Prajapatiya sacrifice and placed in himself the fire for cooking household life. The system of 4 orders of life and 4 castes in terms of quality and work, known as Varnashram Dharma, is the beginning of real human life. And Maharaj Yudhishthira, as a protector of this system of human activities, timely retired from active life as a sannyasi, handing over the charge of the administration to a trained prince, Maharaj Parikshit. Yes. A king is always happy when he sees that he has someone to take over from him. Similarly, that's the duty of all responsible leaders. All responsible leaders. Similarly, the spiritual master is making many disciples. Why is he doing that? Why is he making so many devotees? He want to get a qualified disciple whom he will enthrone before leaving. That is a prime duty. It's a concern. And in history, any king who does not have a representative will do whatever necessary to get it. To do Jagya, Dasharatha Maharaj did a lot of austerities to get Ramachandra and his brothers. We also hear Chitraketu Maharaj had to marry millions of wives. That was not sense gratification. And we hear millions of wives. Chitraketu is a great sense gratifier. It's not a great sense gratifier. That is our misunderstanding. He's trying to do his duty as a Kshatriya. He must get the child to represent him. And to that he can devise any means to get it, which is approved by Srila Prabhupada. We should devise many ways to expand Krishna consciousness. So he did. And other responsible leaders, they do the same thing. A leader is not considered successful, even if he turned the whole world into Krishna consciousness, but he didn't make a pure devotee. He is not considered successful. He must make one pure devotee, at least. At least. Then one is considered successful. They have somebody to take over. Not that one is expert in managing and leading things. To not make one a successful leader. One is considered a successful leader if he has a leader who will take over from him by his leadership. So Yudhishthira Maharaj did it perfectly by the help of Lord Krishna, as Arjuna is appreciating that. By the help of Krishna, Ashwatthama was going to kill Parikshit Maharaj, but Krishna protected Parikshit Maharaj. Arjuna did not forget that. He's aware. He's appreciating Krishna for his wonderful deed. So, no one should follow the suicidal policy of neglecting one's supreme task of attaining the highest perfection of life, namely, going back home, back to Godhead. as Yudhishthira Maharaj did. He's going back to Godhead. He has attained perfection. Text 40. Maharaj Yudhishthira at once relinquished all his garments, belts, and ornaments to the royal order, and became completely disinterested and unattached to everything. Without training, one cannot come to this stage. I've seen many devotees are leaving the body lamenting. Many devotees are leaving the body lamenting, not like Madhavendra Puri leaving the body lamenting, expressing his pure love of Godhead. Many devotees are leaving the body lamenting for what they are leaving behind. Not because of pure love for Godhead. What they are leaving behind, what they are lamenting. That means they are going to Godhead? No. A devotee should leave the body smiling, not lamenting, not angry. Angry with who? Angry with who? Devotees should not leave the body lamenting for what we're leaving behind. See my opulences I'm leaving. Look at my nice computer. I'm leaving it for you. I wish I take it with me. When I was working very hard, you were not doing anything. Now I'm leaving it for you. You're lamenting for that computer. You're lamenting for computer. You're not going to Godhead. We should not leave the body lamenting. We should leave the body lamenting, oh, the Lord of Mathura, when will I see you again? That's lamentation we should have. That is a ticket of going back to Godhead. Yudhishthira Maharaj is not lamenting here. He's not crying for the thing he's leaving behind for others, for his children, his brothers. He's not doing that here. He became completely uninterested and detached for everything material. His position, he didn't care. He willingly removed the crown and he gave it. He took the belt, everything, all the royal thing, he handed over everything. Yes, this is perfection of life. We should practice our Krishna consciousness to this level, that we will quit the body happily, saying that, yes, we have trained somebody whom we can hand over everything to, and he's going to take it forward, not going to destroy it. We're going to take it forward, and you're going to expand what he has given. As a bona fide disciple must expand what the spiritual master has given. So our business as a devotee is not just to hang around, speak empty philosophy, take chapatis, and lamenting about what we are leaving behind. No, we should think ahead. We should think ahead. What am I going to offer to the world on behalf of my spiritual master? We should think about that. To become purified of material contamination is the necessary qualification for becoming one of the associates with the Lord. No one can become an associate with the Lord or can go back to Godhead without such purification. Maharaj Yudhishthira, therefore, to become spiritually pure, at once gave up his royal opulence, relinquishing his royal dress and garments. No attachment. The so-called leaders of men in the modern age are attached by national consciousness, but they do not know that such false consciousness is also another designation of the materially conditioned soul. One has to relinquish such designation before one can become eligible to go back to Godhead. Foolish people are those such men, due to who die in national consciousness. If you leave the body with the national consciousness, what will happen to you? You take birth again in that country as a dog. It happened to Nehru. Nehru took the next body as a dog, but he took his one in Sweden. Sweden. That is not success. That is a failure. It's a failure. But here is an example of Maharaj Yudhishthira, a royal king who prepared himself to leave this world without such national consciousness. He left the body with Krishna consciousness. And yet he is remembered even today because he was a great pious king, almost on the same level with the personality of God, the Sri Ram. And because people of the world were dominated by such pious kings, they were happy in all respects, and it was quite possible for such great emperors to rule the world. The same way Prabhupada did. Prabhupada ruled the world perfectly and successfully handed over everything. And what he handed over is going, is continuing. He's not standing in one place, he's moving. It's continuing. Let us contribute. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. This is very important purport, like Prabhupada again mentioning again and again the same. But initially, practically, we have so everyone of, especially those that come in the brahmacharya ashram, we come in the mood to give up the things, like eventually, maybe start from the outside, giving degree and other assets, but eventually we fall in the same category, in fame, glory, everywhere same story.
Yes.
So what is the missing point and how we can take care of this? We should not entangle. And then
yes.
Yukta Vairag, we remain Yukta only, then Vairag goes somewhere else.
Yes, thank you for that. It is true, perfect observation, which is also giving us pain when we see all this. When we see all these things, it gives pain to the heart. That's how we speak the way we speak. It's not an insult, but it is a way to stimulate us, to bring us to our consciousness. It's like Guru Maharaj. It's one of my favorite. He also have the same observation. You came in here as a gentle boy. After a few years, you have become a politician. Politician will compete with another politician. Oh, how many preaching centers you have now? How many base you have? Oh, how many centers are you controlling? Oh, you became a commander before me. I've been here. Oh, you are a DGO now. Oh, politics. Oh, you're Guru's brother, is it not? Yeah, you're Guru's brother. That's why he gave you that position before me. These contaminations come to the heart. Why is it happening like this? The house which is built on a solid foundation will not be blown down by the wind. The house which is on quicksand will fall even without the wind comes. There's a quicksand. So most of us have a quicksand foundation in our Krishna consciousness. A few days ago, the devotee was telling me, I was conducting initiation and I was asking the devotee many questions. What about this? What about this? What about this in their life? I was asking, what about this? So, many devotees, the things which they were not doing before they became devotees, they are doing it when they became devotees. So I told them, it is not the fault. Yes, I saw, when I came, I saw devotees who have been moving for 15 years, for 20 years, doing this. That is why I also started doing. I told them, you have the tendency with you, but it was covered. When you came to Krishna consciousness, when you start to practice, all those covered things will come out. The fire of the Bhakti will bring out all the impurities, all the desire which have been hiding there. The practice will bring them out. And that is when you will demonstrate who you really are. So the foundation is weak, therefore we are easily influenced. That is called complacency. Bhagavad Gita 16:17 purpose verse. Krishna said complacency is a demon. Now instead of becoming a devotee, now we're becoming demonic, complacent. We're becoming satisfied with the situation we are getting in the movement. Now I have become a temple president, so this is the merit of my being a devotee. So we're not putting effort again in our practice, because this is the goal of my coming to Krishna consciousness. I have gotten some position now. Now, the moment these things come, the natural tendency to start jealousing others, competing with others will naturally become our daily sadhana. That is what is happening. Our goal of Krishna consciousness is not clearly defined. We must clearly define our goal in Krishna consciousness. If that is defined, we will be able to follow it nicely. That's the problem. The foundation is weak. Therefore, we should revise. We should revise what is the reason we came to Krishna consciousness. Let us check it. What is the reason of our Krishna? Yesterday we mentioned we should check if we are doing what we're supposed to do in this movement. And even if we're doing it, we should also check how are we doing it. Very important. If we don't do that, we'll be floating. We're repeating our words. We'll be floating. The foundation of our Krishna consciousness is not strong. And why is it not strong? Because we don't know the goal. If you ask a devotee, what's the goal of Krishna consciousness? Even a child knows. Going back and back to Godhead, pure love of Godhead. But that does not mean that we know it. We just, it's something we just, yes, you do it theoretically hard. Theoretically hard. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used the word Durudaivam. Durudaivam means, what does it mean? Misfortune. Why misfortune? It's like Bhakti could explain our misfortune four ways. And each of them has subdivisions. The first one is Tattva Vibrahma. We don't understand the position of Krishna, we don't understand our position, we don't understand the relationship between us. But everybody theoretically knows that the goal of life is Krishna, is pure love of Krishna, going back home back to Godhead. That is in theory. That's a theory. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used the word misfortune. That we're supposed to know this, but we don't know. Therefore, it's a misfortune. One who knows the goal of life is Krishna, one who knows that, our activity will be different. Our life in general will be different. Such a person, when you say Hare Krishna, Lord Krishna will sit with you to hear his name. Krishna will sit with you to hear his name, because that is a pure name. He's attracted to his name. We will hear the name with the chanting. Does it make sense? Thank you. Ask me. Tattva Brahma, that's one. This one is just one. The next one is Asat Trishna. Asat Trishna, not Krishna. Trishna. Not taste. Not taste for Krishna. Asat means we have interest for temporal things, not Krishna. Third one is Hridaya Dorbalya, weakness of heart, which is due to weakness of heart. And the last one is what? Aparada. Aparada is the four misfortunes we have. 41. Then he amalgamated all the sense organs into the mind. Then the mind into life. Life into breathing. His total existence into the embodiment of the 5 elements. And his body into death. Then, as pure self, he became free from the material conception of life. Very interesting. Very interesting. Prabhupada explained. Yudhishthira Maharaj Yudhishthira, like his brother Arjuna, began to concentrate and gradually became freed from all material bondage. First thing he did was, he concentrated all the actions of the senses and amalgamated them into the mind. The material element has to go to material element. Or in other words, he turned his mind towards the transcendental service of the Lord. Yes. The material color of the mind is changed when one washes it from contaminations of life breathing and thereby frees it from the contamination of repeated births and deaths and situate it in pure spiritual life. All is manifested by the temporary embodiment of the material body, which is a production of the mind at the time of death. And if the mind is purified by practice of transcendental loving service to the Lord, and is constantly engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, there is no more chance of minds producing another material body after death. It will be freed from absorption and material contamination. The pure soul will be able to return home, back to Godhead. Thus, annihilating the gross body of 5 elements into the 3 qualitative modes of material nature, he merged them in one nation, and then absorbed that nations in the self, Brahman, which is inexhaustible in all circumstances. When one is thus inclined to become an associate of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, in one of the innumerable planets of the spiritual sky, especially in Goloka Vrindavan, one has to think always that he is different from the material energy. He has nothing to do with it, and he has to realize himself as pure spirit, Brahman, qualitatively equal with the Supreme Brahman, Paramatma. Maharaj Yudhishthira, after distributing his kingdom to Parikshit and Vajra, did not think himself emperor of the world or head of the Kuru dynasty. This sense of freedom from material relations, as well as freedom from the material engagement of the gross and subtle encirclement, makes one free to act as the servitor of the Lord, even though one is in the material world. This stage is called the Jivan Mukta stage, or the liberated stage, even in the material world. That is a process of ending material existence. One who only thinks himself Brahman is an impersonalist. And one who acts like Brahman is the pure devotee. If one is Brahman, then we should act as Brahman. I'm not the body. Right? That's our philosophy. I'm not the body. One who realizes that he's not the body. One who knows I'm not the body will miss Mangalarati because of malaria fever. Huh? I'm asking. The spirit soul have malaria fever? Have malaria? Spirit soul? The spirit soul is sick? Huh? What is sick? But body. Aham Brahmasmi means I'm a spirit soul, then we should act as spirit soul. In all circumstances, we should not fail in doing our prescribed duties. That is a sign of Aham Brahmasmi. Otherwise, we are impersonalists, according to Prabhupada. Personalist means I will do all what I'm supposed to do. My 16 rounds will be completed. My 16 rounds will be completed in all circumstances. Anything that makes us not to complete our 16 round means we are the body. Thank you. We're the body. Or impersonalist. One who acts like this, one who acts like Brahman is a pure devotee. Yes. Let's look at Maharaj Yudhishthira's behavior. Let's look at his behavior, 43 and 44. What is the behavior of Maharaj Yudhishthira Maharaj? After that, Maharaj Yudhishthira dressed himself in torn clothing. Is he lamenting? Maharaj Yudhishthira is lamenting? He's angry? He doing this involuntarily due to his bhakti. Because he has practiced very nicely. He has heard perfectly and he has lived his life like that, executing his devotional activities nicely. The result is he can act like this. He has practiced it. Gave up eating all solid food, voluntarily became dumb and let his hair hang loose. All this combined to make him look like an Uchid or madman with no occupation. He did not depend on his brothers for anything, and just like a deaf man, he had nothing but remembrance of Krishna. Nothing. He was not hearing anything. If we are hearing what people are saying about the nonsense thing people say about us, means we are external devotee. We'll be worried and will not concentrate. We will not remember Krishna. If we want to remember Krishna, we should block our ears from all external things. Without practice, you cannot get there. We have to practice. Practice makes one perfect. It was being free from all external affairs. He's the Prabhupada. From all external affairs. Maharaj Yudhishthira is completely free from all external affairs. He had nothing to do with imperial life or family prestige. And for all practical purposes, he posed himself exactly like an innate mad Russian and did not speak of material affairs. Zero. This is deliberate plan to focus the attention on Krishna. Deliberate. He's not forced to do this, but he's deliberately doing it, planning his Krishna consciousness. We have to plan our Krishna consciousness. This is what Maharaj Yudhishthira is doing. And Dhira did the same thing. Many other did the same thing. Lord Sabdev did the same thing. They planned their Krishna consciousness. They planned their Krishna consciousness. Sukadev Goswami. All of them, they planned their Krishna consciousness and they succeeded. They planned their Krishna consciousness. We should plan our Krishna consciousness. Because if we don't plan it, Maya will plan it. That is certain. He had no dependence on his brothers who had all along been helping him. This stage of complete dependence from everything is also called the purified stage of fearlessness. Purified stage of fearlessness. Yes, Prabhu.
This stage of like being freed from all external affairs, or as you mentioned, like planning. So how is it practically possible? Like giving up eating. I heard Your Holiness also has given up eating. You only take little juice. So how is it practically possible? Because if we don't take food once or twice, the body becomes so weak, it becomes difficult to practice Krishna consciousness.
We should do things according to our level. Let's do things according to our level. You should eat. You should eat 2 times. If you eat 2 times, you are a bogey. That's okay. Bogey, different from rogi. Rogi, you eat 3 times. Bogey is 2 times. A yogi is so they're different, different levels. So take precedent 2 times. It's okay. And at least we can refuse to allow people to speak nonsense thing to us. We can refuse to do that. That is not difficult. We can do that. We can refuse to accept the garbages which people give to us. We have power to do that. We can refuse that. Somebody is constantly talking unnecessary things. We can refuse to hear. I'm sorry, Prabhu. Can you tell me something better? Can you tell me something better? Can you share with me what you read in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita today? That we can do. We can change the topic of discussion. We can do that. And if you cannot change it because of the personalities involved, at least you can take excuse and leave the place. We can do that. Krishna has given us intelligence, we have to use it. So, if you take things to be too big, bigger than Krishna, they will remain bigger than us. That's how it is. And the mind always tricks us. The mind always tricks us. Now, we should plan how to trick the mind. That we can do by neglecting the mind. This we can practice. We can practice so that we only have associates who will discuss Krishna consciousness with us. Not somebody else want to say something. That is not Krishna consciousness. One day was a Christian, not even a devotee, a Christian was speaking. I don't have a friend who is not a Christian. Can't we say the same thing? I don't have a friend who is not a devotee. can't say the same thing? Is it difficult? Huh? I would never have a friend who is not a devotee. And among devotees, I will not have a friend who is not chanting Sisiran, who will be talking during japa. I wouldn't have a friend who talk during japa. Can't we say the same thing? Yes. I want to see with devotees who are chanting, like formula Mahatma Prabhu gave. No, Mahatma Prabhu. When I chant, I chant. Can you do it? Can you repeat it? I chant. What does it mean? Huh? Just chant. It's not a time for anything else. This is time for japa. So when I chant, not discussion, not anything else, no conversation, no planning the day's activity. Chanting the holy name. Can't we do that? Yes. We can do this. Let us do it. It's in our hands. Let us do it. It's not coming from somewhere. We don't have to order it from somewhere. Right? Yes, I don't have money to do that. Import duty is too expensive, too hard. So many restrictions of import duties. So you don't have that expenses, that experience. It's in our hands. Let's do it. You know? Yes. Yes.
We should not interfere in Guru and Krishna's plan. But how to distinguish these two?
We are explaining how to plan our Krishna consciousness. We just explain how to plan our Krishna consciousness. We should not interfere with Krishna's plan for us. Means you should not complain about something happening. You are going to look at it in chapter 17. Chapter 17, we're going to look at discussion between Parikshit Maharaj and Dharma. Well, that's in chapter 17. we will look at that. We should not interfere with Krishna's plan to help us. When we complain and lament and become frustrated and Krishna consciousness is too hard, that means we're interfering with Krishna's plan to help us. Yes, sir. There's a question. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
My question is, when we are taking this topic, explaining it to, taking this topic of Maharaj Yudhishthira, how he accepted this path. So how to explain it in current context, because many new people may also take it as inspiration to follow the path of Yudhishthira Maharaj, to go to the forest and not to speak to anyone like that. Generally, we recommend being with the devotees, and we should associate with the devotees, being the place where the devotees are. But here we see that Yudhishthira Maharaj, although many devotees would have been present that time, he chose the path to go to the forest and not connect with anyone, just remembering. And also it was Dwapar Yuga, but the process so generally the deity worship process was, rather than deity worship process, he followed this path of remembering the path.
Yes, this time we don't tell people to go to the forest. Our forest now is Hare Krishna temple. So you can come to temple. And even when they come to temple, you should also be very careful, because I just mentioned many people join the movement and they also learn bad habits from the temple, inside the temple. And devotees who have been in the movement for years. Devotees are coming inside and seeing them with a bad habit, and they are following that. Even in the movement, we should be very careful whom we are associating with. We should select our associate. Right? Yudhishthira Maharaj continued. He then started towards the north, treading the path accepted by his forefathers and great men, to devote himself completely to the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he lived that way wherever he went. Yudhishthira Maharaj knows the goal. The goal is clearly defined. Therefore, there is no distraction. Wherever he goes, it does not mean that there are no distractions. There are so many distractions, but he was never distracted because he knows the goal. His goal is clearly defined, and he's following that. If the goal is not defined, we will not be able to follow. So Prabhupada has a defined goal of his Krishna consciousness. He succeeded despite innumerable distractions and challenges. He didn't see them as stumbling blocks. He saw all of them as stepping stones. Stepping stones. He succeeded. The goal of our Krishna consciousness should be clearly defined. Please, you should remember this. We are repeating it. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, text 12 purport, Prabhupada said, there are many people in this society of Krishna consciousness who assume themselves to be devotees, but in their heart, they don't accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the movement, not outside. They don't accept Krishna is the Supreme. Read it, 9:12 purport, right from the beginning. So even here we should select devotees who are genuine devotees. You can associate with them. See what Maharaj Yudhishthira is doing. He lived in that way wherever he went. No distraction. You seen it? Is it there? Read it out loud. Let's hear.
There are many devotees who assume themselves to
Start from the beginning. Start from the beginning.
There are many devotees who assume themselves to win Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth.
Sure. There are many devotees. Prabhupada didn't say there are many demons. He said there are many devotees in this movement. You're inside. And don't forget, Krishna told us how many people approach him. How many? What are those 4 people? I didn't say who are they. I said where? Where are they? Where are those devotees who approach him? Where? They're here. They're here in the movement, not outside. They're here. Krishna said, they approach me. Where is Krishna? Radha Mohani is here, right? So say 4 of us have approached him. All of us here, we are divided into 4. This room. So all of us are here. 4 groups are here. Let us understand our scriptures. Let us understand our scriptures. We should understand our scriptures. We are just reading, not understanding what is happening. No, this is study. It's not a lecture. This is study. So we are looking at what our child, what Krishna is saying. Yes. No king or respectable gentleman will continue family life until the end, because that was considered suicidal and against the interests of the perfection of human life. In order to be free from all family encumbrances and devote oneself 100% in the devotional service of Lord Krishna, this system is always recommended for everyone because it is the path of authority. The specific words Brahma Param indicate Lord Sri Krishna. This corroborated in the Bhagavad Gita 10:13 by Arjuna with reference to great authority like Asita, Devala, Narada, and Vyas. Thus Maharaj Yudhishthira while leaving home for the north, constantly remembered Lord Sri Krishna within himself, following in the footsteps of his forefathers, as well as the great devotees of all times. 45 to 51, the departure of Dhira, Draupadi, and the Pandavas. Because all of them have been trained, so they are following the same thing. They are all devotees. They are following the same system. So let us also follow the same thing. This is what Krishna recommended. Krishna told us during Bhagavad Gita. What is that? Chapter 4, text 10. What did Krishna say? Chapter 4, text 10, Bhagavad Gita. What did he say? Vita, Raga, Baya, Krodha. Yes, read. Read the translation.
Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me.
Yes. It's parampara system. Krishna is giving an example. People who follow me, this is what they attained. So if you follow the same thing, what will happen? You will attain the same thing. So Arjuna remember Krishna, Yudhishthira Maharaj remember Krishna, all the remaining brothers, including their wife and the mother, they follow the same thing. They all attain the same destination. They all had performed all the principles of religion, and as a result, rightly decided that the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Krishna are the supreme goal of all. Therefore, they meditated upon his feet without interruption. The Pandavas, not only in this life but also in their previous lives, had always performed the supreme pious work, and thus they are ever free from all reactions of impious work. It is quite reasonable, therefore, that they concentrated their minds upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. According to Sri Vishwanath Chakrabarti, Dharma, Artha, Kam, and Moksha principles are accepted by persons who are not free from the results of impious action. Such persons are affected with the contaminations of the above four principles cannot at once accept the lotus feet of the Lord in the spiritual sky. The Vaikuntha world is situated far beyond the material sky. The material sky is under the management of Durga Devi, or the material energy of the Lord. But the Vaikuntha world is managed by the personal energy of the Lord. Thus, by pure consciousness, due to constant devotional remembrance, they attain the spiritual sky, which is ruled over by the Supreme Narayan, Lord Krishna. This is attained only by those who meditate upon the one Supreme Lord without deviation. This abode of the Lord Sri Krishna, known as Goloka Vrindavan, cannot be attained by persons who are absorbed in the material conception of life. But the Pandavas, being completely washed off all material contamination, attained that abode in their very same bodies. We went back to Godhead. What? The same body. Not that. That's the quality of your devotion. Therefore, the austerity they perform befit what they got. You didn't get less. It's the quality of what they practice. So Krishna cannot just be happy seeing his devotees in difficulty and be laughing. Ha 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 ha. See them. Now Krishna, Krishna should not do like that. Krishna, according to Rupa Goswami, is very, very grateful. Krishna is very, very grateful. Little thing, Krishna will appreciate it very much. So that his personal associate underwent severe tribulations. It is for their own glory. It is for their own glory, for their own benefit. Because they know that they didn't feel otherwise. They didn't complain. They didn't lament. They don't feel bad. Oh, Krishna, why are you treating me like this? They never ask Krishna this question. Why? Because they know, so they cannot ask. Some of us may ask because we don't know, but they don't ask. They know. They are just playing what they have rehearsed long time back with Krishna. They're just demonstrating it. We are just seeing what they are doing, but we don't know what they've been doing before this time. They're intimate friends. They know each other. Yes, so to go back to Godhead, we should do what? It is said here, thus, by pure consciousness, due to constant devotional remembrance. Constant remembrance, remembering Krishna, purify the consciousness, make our consciousness pure. That is remembrance. They did this, therefore there is nothing like, impurities in them. So they just walk out of the material world back to Godhead. Just walk out and join Krishna for the next program. They just walk and join him there where he is, and then continue with their life. What we are doing can give us the same thing. The same thing. Have the same experience. If you maintain the same attitude they are having towards the Krishna consciousness, we have the same experience. No difference. Any question before we continue?
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, in this it is mentioned that they went to Godhead in the same bodies. And in Mahabharata we know that how one by one all the Pandavas left their bodies. So the last one was Maharaj Yudhishthira. So what explanation?
This is bona fide. This one is bona fide. We have different visions about things, but the vision of our Acharya is bona fide. Who is speaking here? Who is speaking here? Huh? Yesterday, Sukadev Goswami is speaking. This Sukadev Goswami is speaking. He has perfect vision. He is meant to speak by Bhagavatam. That's his duty. He's an Acharya for speaking by Bhagavatam, so he has more authority. So we accept this one, not than others. Okay, we can take break now and get to break. It's 12 o'clock. We will continue after that.
By elements, cross elements, and other elements. And when we talk